Okay. Hello, all who are joining us, Mr. Analog Drift, Redneck Ram, Xeno Guy, Bart, whoever else might be in chat, and whoever is going to be watching on the VOD. Thank you for joining us for episode 2 of the Dragon's Teacast, where we're going to talk about, as you can guess from the title, multiverses and why they need to end. Also, thank you guys who have joined us last week, this episode 2, which I think will be considerably better. Last week gave me an idea of just how to move along with everything, how the flow is going to go. Ooh, almost forgot. I'm also going to have some nice little background music to listen to. Let me know if you can hear that. You should be able to hear a little bit of a sound in the background. If not, I'm going to just give up on life, so let me know now. My audio seems to be fine. Everybody else can hear me, I believe. And now I get to play the fun game of how much time do I wish to waste until more people slowly come trickling in. Okay, everything else seems to be good. Music's good. Fantastic. Crossover's okay as a one-off. Multiverses don't work well because it's a pseudo time travel. Bring lights and I don't know how I'm gonna be able to fix that. At this point, it's pointing in that direction. It's not even pointing at me. I don't know what I'm gonna do but the stupid ring light. I can't figure out a way to fix it besides looking down. So I guess this is what I'm gonna have to do. You guys can all watch my twitchy eye, I guess. I only do this little twitch thing whenever I'm nervous and I go live on something. Alright. So, we've got a lot of things to cover. Quickly go up the notes, just like so. There we go. Alright, so today I'm not going to be looking at chat as much until around the end. But if you guys want to catch my attention, of course, the best way will be to super chat me. I will see the thing light up and I will get to it. Otherwise, I'm going to talk for a little bit, take a break when I need to, look at chat, and then get back to the fun stuff. Sorry I'm late, my internet was fritzing. No problem, this is why I do a little stall for time thing at the beginning, like I'm always told to do with these things. Rick and Morty did it fine, but it's been getting boring in later seasons. Oh, Rick and Morty is not specifically mentioned in what I'm going to talk about, but it'll probably be brought up as the conversation begins. Rick and Morty did it fine because the story was always low stakes. Yes, that is one way to look at it. The story was indeed low stakes. Multiverses kills the stake. That will be mentioned. So, without further ado, I want to go ahead and begin the conversation. All my videos are lined up correctly. Good. Alright. So let's begin with the script outline thing that I have done for this thing. It was in the title card. It was, but I did not make that image. Somebody else did. I just stole it and added my little logo to it. Clickbait. Yes, clickbait. Welcome to YouTube, where clickbait matters a lot more than actual content. Okay. So, multiverses need to end. Things exist by being able to be compared to what is around them. For example, let me see here. Oh, isn't this fantastic? One of the things I wanted to be up is not up. There you are. Drag you over here so you can be along with your friends. Because we're going to do a little bit of visual stuff today, folks. Share, screen, this. Okay. So, on the screen, I'm assuming all of you can see the little white stuff. And now, I'm going to draw a line on this piece of, I don't know which, internet paper. There we go. Can you all see? It's a little, I need it to be darker. Bam. Alright, can you all see the black line for me? It's a single black line. Tell me if you can see it. Just one single black line. You don't have to describe it to me. Just tell me if you can see the single black line. What do you mean? What do you mean, no? You can't see the black line? It's right there. It's obvious, isn't it? Man, you guys really want me to do everything for you, huh? Right. We'll do it like this then, since you guys are so bad at everything. Back here. Do one of these. Oh wait, I need to make this. Bam. Right. How about now? Can you see the line now? Can you see the line now? If you guys can't see it now, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to tell you. Now that's a line. What changed? What changed between before and now? It's the same color. What changed is now this color is surrounded by everything else. A lot of this is going to be really simple, but there's a reason it's really simple. A lot of people like to say they get simple stuff until you play the simple stuff to ways they're not used to, then all of a sudden, oh, I don't know what's going on. It's not as simple as it seems. It's complicated. The reason this black line now exists is because of the white around it. If you took away the white around it, there is no black line. Now, what else can you tell me about this line? Is it short or is it long? What is the length of the line? Well, you don't know because it's just a line. How about now? Which is the short line? Which is the long line? They're all relatively the same. You can't really say much about that line. But now, you can see that this is a long line. The way you know this is a long line is because these guys are short. Isn't it awesome how I can just say the very simple things and sound like a genius? And now this previously long line is a short line because of everything around it. So this line gets its identity based on what else is around it. And I'm hoping you guys can start to see where it's going to tie in with all the multiverse stuff and the things that they do. So now that example is out of the way, before we jump into the massive problem of multiverses, crossover, and the other popular who would win arguments like you see in anime all the time, let's begin on a smaller scale, much like the line example. Well, we have this tab open, might as well do it like this. Leave the site, yes. Go here to images. There we go. This guy right here, open up. This is Vegeta. This is Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z. Prince of all Saiyans, able to destroy planets from his fingertips, was enslaved by Frieza, able to go Super Saiyan. I said that already, but you all can see it, right? It's Vegeta. I don't really need to say much else about it. If you don't believe me, let me go ahead, show this guy in stream. I'm going to... no, I'm going to let the music run. Alright, let's go over here. Jump 7 seconds in. Actually, no, I am going to stop music so you gotta listen a little bit.
To sit down and take a complete look at Steven's various
look at that.
transformations throughout the epilogue
Look at this. He's now bigger, stronger. His hair changed color to change shape. This is what a Super Saiyan does, right?
series, which, for simplicity's sake, I will just refer to as his diamond transformations.
Diamond transformations. So he has multiple transformations. This is Vegeta.
Since, with the exception
Okay, what is the next clip? I have it written down this time as opposed to last week. Next one.
at all, simply known as Pink Steven or his pink state, in order
Pink Steven.
to differentiate
That's his transformation
from his
name.
actual gem half. Steven's pink state is essentially a fight or flight response kicking in. Because of the stress and trauma he endured in his younger years, his body now reacts to stress as if he's in a life or death situation, causing
which is a lot how the Super Saiyan transformation also begins. What else we got?
his body and powers to accommodate by giving him whatever he feels like he needs in the moment.
So he gains powers based on his transformations. 332.
Giving me Steven and the Steven vibes, but also reminding me of every shonen protagonist ever, especially if they're from a particular bizarre series. Now I see this as because he was trained by a court. Here, we now shift to his second transformation. Which, for simple terms, I'll just refer to as Court Steven.
Super Saiyan 2.
Muscular and rivals Jasper in height, like a court soldier.
He gets taller, again transformation. Look at how strong he is.
Jasper and
training all.
Fragments.
This is all
becoming much more.
This is all stuff you see in Dragon Ball Z, right? God, Steven Universe is not the kind of show that needs to be analyzed like a fight anime. There will be a point to this. One more clip. 610. Yep. I can barely see this. That's 8. Yep.
And that takes me to the third stage of this diamond transformation,
Super Saiyan 3.
Simply referred to as Pink Diamond Steven, actual diamond transformation. While it was briefly achieved in his other form, Steven fully retains his diamond eyes in this state, enlarging
diamond eyes. His eyes change, just like a Super Saiyan,
to the size of his mother, surpassing that of a court soldier, with his hairdo being a messy in between of pinks and.
So his hair also changes shape, still the same color. But this is all the hallmarks of going Super Saiyan and how Vegeta lives his life. It's obvious, right? Now, some of you might be saying, wrongly, that this is not Vegeta. But I mean, hey, I'm calling it Vegeta, right? There's similarities. But that's not really what makes Vegeta Vegeta. Also, this character can fly, manifest things with his energy. At some point, he goes evil, which you can know as Majin Vegeta, or somebody refers to it as the corrupted form in this particular version of Dragon Ball, and requires his allies to put a stop to him and is saved by his tears. It was interesting. Basically, a character study on what happens to a main character after they are not the main character anymore. Also, pink shirt. There you go. Vegeta is known for wearing a pink shirt. That is absolutely true. So for some of you naysayers, okay, let's look at something else. Actually, before that, I am actually licensed now by Bandai Namco. That's fantastic. My 10,000 viewer show, not viewer, 10,000 subscriber show, now gets an official gaming license with Bandai Namco. And I'm going to make a video game based off Vegeta. And in this game, Vegeta is going to run around solving people's problems. There's friendship problems, no less. The core gameplay is going to be fetch quests. He's going to help a friend or a stranger. He's going to level up with them, which allows him to unlock new things, which helps him help more people. On and on and on. That will be the Dragon Ball Z game. Like I said in the beginning, Xeno Guy, I'm doing this. We're starting from a place different than what I intend, so I can lay down some groundwork, and then we'll move on to the multiverses. And so that is my plan for the Dragon Ball Z game. Vegeta helping people with their friendship problems with fetch quests. I mean, I have the license. The character is named Vegeta. He's going to look like Vegeta. I'm going to say it takes place in the Dragon Ball universe. What more do you need? And if that is not enough, okay. How about this? Is this Vegeta? I mean, it looks like Vegeta. People call him Vegeta. When you go to the game, you choose the Vegeta skin. But then let me know, does the Vegeta that you know, does he do this? And this. Are these the actions that you expect? That one is, at least. Actually, not really. He's not that type of fighter. You all know damn well this is obviously not what Vegeta does. Despite the fact that he looks like Vegeta, nothing about what he was doing actually lines up with Vegeta. And if you look at the gameplay of this game,
we don't really have a pump.
Why is Vegeta using guns?
Oh, he's stunned.
Vegeta does not use guns.
AI.
Moving on.
Oh man,
why does it take him multiple swings with that stick to break a couple of barrels? He's able to destroy pretty much everything. So why does it need multiple swings to take down these barrels? So all this time, with all these examples, I keep saying Vegeta. I keep showing visual examples of Vegeta. I'm making these comparisons to Vegeta. But all of you obviously know none of this is actually Vegeta. And there's a reason for it. What makes up Vegeta is not just how he looks. It's not just a transformation or a power boost that makes Vegeta. It is the events of Dragon Ball. Let me take this crap off screen. Hold on. I've had enough of looking at it. It is the events of Dragon Ball and his actions and reactions to those events that make Vegeta what he is in people's eyes. There may be different levels of interpretation, but they all follow or should follow essentially the same events. What makes him what he is how we can compare how he handles fighting and dealing with enemies to Goku when facing Dragon Ball specific characters. Goku will give people a chance to atone for their sins. Vegeta will break your neck while you're unconscious. Think when they were fighting the Ginyu Force. He broke a brother's neck. He blasted Recoome into nothingness. That is how Vegeta fights. And we can compare that to Goku, who left him alive. Goku analyzes his opponent and takes things slow. Vegeta goes from 0 to 60 in a heartbeat. If Goku was as vicious and ruthless as Vegeta was, then Vegeta would not really be all that special. It's also why Goku's sacrifice with Cell was not as shocking or as impactful as Vegeta's was against Buu. Goku's nobility is expected. Vegeta's sacrifice was an unexpected and needed atonement. His relation to Frieza, how he was raised by the man who genocided his people and used them as a slave. The extent that he trains compared to Goku is what makes him an underdog figure. If we never saw any Vegeta training scenes, and he spent no time training but relying on his bloodline for the strength, he probably would not be my favorite character. In fact, it was the training montage in the Android saga that solidified him as my favorite character. What made Vegeta going Super Saiyan so much different than Goku or Trunks is what led up to the transformation. We can compare what was required of him to what was required of those other characters. We can compare the circumstances of when we saw the transformations for the first time. It's not just the transformation that matters. That's also why so many people disliked Goten and Trunks going Super Saiyan in the Buu saga. There wasn't really anything to it. No emotion. No prior events. All of these ideas were lacking. It was just empty. When I play a Dragon Ball game like Fighters or Xenoverse, there is more meaning when I, as Vegeta, go up against a Goku or a Frieza character than if I was to go up against Tien, or Cell, or even Kefla. That does not exist in Fortnite, the game we were looking at where he had those guns. Here, it's just a skin suit. They say it's Vegeta, looks like a Vegeta, but it's not Vegeta. And the entire game is full of these not characters. But there seems to be a bit of a what's what I'm looking for? Like a discombobulation between what people see and what they feel deep down inside. And for some of you who may make the argument, yeah, everyone knows you're not actually playing Vegeta. Nya, nya, nya. You're wrong. Completely wrong. These companies would not dish out millions upon millions of dollars to get the rights if they did not want to lure people who want to play as these characters. Second, you can just hear from the people. They say they are playing as Vegeta, or they are Vegeta when playing these games. Think of my Vegeta and Steven Universe descriptions in the beginning, and tell me this next statement is wrong. You were closer to watching Vegeta if you watched Steven Universe than if you were to watch the skin suit in Fortnite. Cool Frog, thank you for joining us. Disassociation? Yeah, that's probably the right word. Thank you, Xeno Guy. Sad. Yes, it is sad. They get the rights to Vegeta, but it's less of a Vegeta than Steven Universe that is not actually trying to copy any of it. For the record, I've never actually seen Steven Universe. I just knew of this example. These archetypes that make up these characters that we love are based off of what they are and what they are not. When you dissolve these boundaries, when you dissolve these boundaries, you dissolve the characters. Think of the line example. I drew a line. Its boundaries determine it was a line. The other lines determine if it was short or long. When I just make the whole thing black, there's no line. It's dissolved. It's nothing. Much like how these characters keep ending up. Where was there we go. So obviously, Steven Universe is not Vegeta, despite all those similarities I laid out, because they exist in two separate universes with different circumstances surrounding them and considerably different character traits. I'm hoping people essentially get an idea of how this is going to tie in to Multiverses. I started out small with just characters. We're going to go all the way into the bigger scene. If we throw Vegeta into One Piece, what'll happen? The whole show will be over in less than an episode. He'll fly to the Grand Line, shimpo around as he knocks everyone unconscious, and then he won't even find One Piece because he wouldn't even care about it. He just want a challenge. Does that mean that Dragon Ball is a better show? No. Does Vegeta being able to one-shot everyone make him more interesting or compelling than Luffy, or Zoro, or anybody else? No. Because from the very start, this comparison is stupid. It's always been stupid. And always will be stupid. The Goku vs. Saitama thing started out as a joke. But then way too many people decided to be serious about it. Began to analyze it. Go see how many videos of analyzing Goku vs. Saitama there are. Saitama's One Punch Man, if anybody forgot. It's depressing. Zoro over Vegeta. See? Shit comparison because nobody should care. But people do care. That's the problem. I am not meant to watch One Piece thinking about how the characters relate to Dragon Ball Z characters. Even though they're both shonen, both of these shows serve such a different purpose for the reader that it would not make any sense to try and compare them. For a big example, which is better, Dragon Ball or Fruits Basket? Who would win in a fight, Toru or Goku? These are pointless questions, and if you try to combine the universes, you would not get anything out of it. So that should be enough groundwork so we can move on to the next stage, multiverses and crossovers. Let's also bring back the music, shall we? Alright, talk about this also, chat, while we go with this. Naruto, how does that tie in? Just a bad character? I have not actually watched One Piece beyond episode 14, so he might be. I could see, if I watched the show, Zoro replacing Vegeta. in terms of my tiers of favorite characters, especially since he uses so many swords. For those who don't know, I love the idea of dual wielding, and so using 3 swords, that's right up my alley. Analog Drift dropping the bombs. Since in recent chapters it took... Okay, these people have to fix their screen. No matter which way I look at the chat, there is something blocking the full text. That is annoying. I should screenshot this to show people. Forget it. Since in recent chapters it took more than One Punch, his title of One Punch Man has been revoked. And who would win question is moot. Yes, Vegeta's butt is on screen again. Back to me. Skill issue? He might. I'm not in a place to start watching over 1,000 episodes or something, or reading the manga, or whatever else. Right, only 26 minutes, good time. See, this is already better than the last one. Let's move on with the plot. As soon as I double check, I just realized live chat is not up here. Okay, that's good. And as usual, you guys can throw money at me as you wish, either by super chat or by signing up as a member. I also changed the emotes again. Show you the new emotes that we have. Bam. There you go. So if you become a member, you can use all of those emotes. And I'm sure that matters, but I'll rather you go to my website instead. Alright. Moving on with the plot. So let's talk about... I mean, if we're going to talk about multiverses, we obviously have to talk about Marvel. Who are the Avengers in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Which were, by the way, not the original Avengers from the comics. So in the Cinematic Universe, we have Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, Hawkeye, Black Widow. 2 of these things is not like the other. Hawkeye and Black Widow, when compared to the other 4, are but measly flies. Have cool action scenes as you fight utterly irrelevant cannon fodder while we take on literal gods is not very compelling. In their own universe, and in this case I'm using universe in a narrow story structure type of way, not a literal cosmos way, Black Widow being like a female James Bond, acting as a spy and assassin, dealing with humans who may or may not possess above average abilities due to the nature of the Marvel Universe, would be more likely to entertain and be engaging than having her be a distraction while everyone else does the heavy lifting. Now let's throw in multiple dimensions, wizards, even more gods, and everything else Marvel has thrown. Suddenly a basic bitch human with a bow and arrow feels kinda pointless. This is also why so many of the Marvel stories after the Avengers feel so utterly vapid. The Scarlet Witch, what could easily be deemed an existential crisis, got you do the entirety of WandaVision, while people like Doctor Strange, Thor, an entire multiverse of supernatural beings did absolutely nothing to stop her. They were aware, as we found out in Doctor Strange 2, they just didn't do anything. And it made everything seem so pointless, because these comparisons are now forced to be made. I'm being joined by a cat. Quickly going back to Dragon Ball, the reason Resurrection F was viewed so poorly by so many was because Beerus and Whis were there the entire time. So we were given a safety net, knowing that no matter what, they were going to do something about the situation. It's also why the Goku Blackheart was so damn exciting, because we were given reasons for why the gods could not interfere. So suddenly that safety line was cut. What are you doing? This is my stream. What are you doing? Your butt's in the way. Stop rubbing your face on everything. Hey. Hey. This is about me. This is my show. It's not always about you. That's right. Go away. Can you believe this cat? Unbelievable. Rude. Alright, take care, Mr. Xeno guy. And you said you're gonna buy some coffee. I'm gonna hold you to it. If you don't, I swear to God. Where was I? Oh, yes. Going back to Marvel, Doctor Strange 2 and the Multiverse of Madness continue these problems with Scarlet Witch and, I just hate this name, America Chavez, along with that Book of Vishanti, which in retrospect makes the entirety of everything that happened with Thanos meaningless, by the way. For those who have not seen it, I'll explain as best I can. The Book of Vishanti exists in its own dimension that connects to every other dimension. All the other multiverses. And this book has the answers to everything. Everything in existence. If there's a question, the book has an answer. So if there was a way to defeat Thanos without needing to sacrifice everybody and go through the entire process, well, this book had it. And I guess Doctor Strange and nobody else within his clique decided to mention that. They decided to just ignore it until Doctor Strange 2. Fantastic. And America Chavez, the name of the character, is able to hop through all the different dimensions without any repercussions, which is not something that can be done. So, these two people, Scarlet Witch and America Chavez, who are just dimension hopping all over the place, posed a risk not just to planet Earth, but to the universe and every other universe out there. A multiversal level threat that is made a lot less menacing when you realize almost everyone else doesn't care enough to intervene. And you're going to tell me Doctor Strange decided not to bother getting in contact with anyone from either his universe or another? He's got the portals, he can portal anywhere. What's the point of the Avengers if this is not enough for them? What was Nick Fury doing during all of this? Now, if you were a good writer, there could be ways around these problems, like with the movie Quantumania. No one else could have known that they were... no one else could have known what was going on because they were quantum-sized. They were sucked in there by accident, and they had no contact with anybody else. But because of this constant needing to up the scales, you keep leaving more and more people to be outclassed and made irrelevant. And the only reason this happened is because you decided to cross all the universes together. Some things are just better left to the imagination. And some things you make worse by trying to answer. Who would win, Batman or Superman? Well, depends on which comic you're referring to. I think, last I checked, they fought a total of 6... let's look it up. Let's just look it up on the fly. How many times did Batman fight Superman? Oh, I was about to say 6 times. It was actually 16 times. 16 times DC's Dark Knight has gone up against the Man of Steel. And it was not the same winner every time. It changed every single time they fought. So, let me get back to the right screen. There we go. Who would win, Batman or Superman? Well, the question has been asked 16 times and answered 16 times with different results. It kind of defeats the whole point of the question. Because you keep answering it and always in different ways. So which one is the official comic? This needs to be practiced more often. It's not always a good idea to give fans what they want, because they don't always know what they want. And someone's always going to be unhappy. Boy. Alright. Yeah, skip that. I don't need to talk about that. All right. And so that is the written down portion that I have about the multiverses. So go ahead, chat. Let me know what type of questions you have, any type of comments. While I drink some more of these fine little liquids, including this drink. Also, I'm drinking Uwu, in case anybody is wondering. You can also get that at dragonstreasure.com. I should probably have that up so I can show properly, but I'm not going to do that at the moment. Probably do it at the end. Checking how everything is going. How's the volume? The volume sounds really good for me. Is it good for everybody else? Nice, easy background music. Not too loud, not too soft. Just flows along with the conversation. Checking out the live chats. Okay. To be fair, they keep changing writers, and each one would have to read 80 years of history. Yeah. It's one of the reasons I don't like American comic books. Who cares? It always changes. Which I talked about this in a previous video. Which is the correct Superman? Bronze Age, Silver Age, Gold Age Superman? When you keep changing and rewriting the characters, you dissolve the boundaries and the characters stop being the characters. You could do what Mortal Kombat did. Mortal Kombat, and I praised them highly for this, they have now done two Mortal Kombat reboots. And both times, they've done it in a fantastic way that does not erase all that has happened in the past. So those who are unaware, reboot number 1, Armageddon was upon them. The only two left alive was Shao Kahn and Raiden. Raiden was about to die, so he used the last bit of his god powers to send a message back in time to his past self, saying he must win. And so Raiden was able to see visions of the future, and he realized that something was off. And so the game starts with you going all the way back to Mortal Kombat 1. So you know what's going to happen, but now we have a nice little twist where Raiden knows that something bad is coming to the future. And so he's doing what he can to stop it. So we're able to stop rewriting some stuff. And that's what they did. It was fantastic. They were able to retcon things that was not really a retcon, more like expanding the universe, but they were able to do it right away. And because of that, they changed how Mortal Kombat 3 ended. Mortal Kombat 3, Shao Kahn invaded Earthrealm even though he was not supposed to. And he was defeated. And that led to Mortal Kombat 4, 5, 6, etc. In the remake, Raiden goes to extreme lengths to prevent Armageddon. Because he keeps seeing the visions. He keeps trying to prevent it. But it's not working. Then he realizes he must win means Shao Kahn. You're not supposed to defeat Shao Kahn in Mortal Kombat 3. At least according to this new timeline. So instead, he does things to let Shao Kahn win. And when Shao Kahn wins, the Elder Gods intervene. And they take him away for good. This leads to Mortal Kombat 10. So now we have just a new timeline. The events changed. Shinnok was still around, but now different motivations, different plans. And yeah, fun stuff. Some of that tea went down the wrong hole. Plot integrated reboots are good since it's usually justified, like in Mortal Kombat. When it's just a cash grab, and I need to make Thief 21X and it's trash, the game is trash. So with the next Mortal Kombat reboot, so what happened at the end of MK11 is that Liu Kang became the new god of Earthrealm. And he defeated a new enemy called Chronica, which is like the god of time. And so he was able to basically reset the whole universe. He tried to create a universe of peace. He's done several changes. Sub-Zero and Scorpion are now brothers. Same with Melina and Quintana. There's no more Mortal Kombat. He's not supposed to. We'll see what stirs things up. But despite all of his efforts, something is amiss. And now he needs to gather warriors. We don't know why yet. They have not gone that far into the reasonings, but... So Liu Kang knows what's happened in the past. And he used what happened in the past to change up. Hot take. If you hate the multiverse aspect of Fortnite, you have to hate the Smash Brothers because they're both just toy boxes. I haven't thought about it like that. I'm not a Smash Brothers player, so it hasn't really crossed my mind. Maybe? I don't know. What do you guys think? Analog Drift seems to agree. I'm indifferent to Smash Bros. So I'm trying to change it up in my mind so I can think about it a little bit more. Also, you may have noticed my Vegeta shirt is missing. So instead I got training to go Super Saiyan. Because right now my Vegeta shirt is missing. I did laundry last weekend. I have no idea what it is. Maybe somebody stole it. Although in Smash, everyone's not using the same loadout. The thing is, with Smash, aren't people still using the same abilities that you would expect them to use in-game? Obviously, I'm still alive because people are still talking to me. It looks like something went crazy with the streaming platform thing, and it like reset itself. Yeah, I'm live still. Although in Smash, everyone's not using the same loadout. True that, but you can't gritty undead Pikachu in Super Smash Brothers. You should get this relatively unique. That too, they're relatively unique. Their abilities match the abilities they would expect in the game. And you can use the argument of crazy magic to do stuff. And I'm joined by my cat again. What do you want, Musashi? What do you want? You want to just go over there? Okay. The reboot Mortal Kombat was due to them killing Liu Kang. Oh, you mean Mortal Kombat 9, 10, 11? Or do you mean before that? But you know, there's another aspect to this whole thing with Multiverses. I kind of lost track of what I was going to say before all this. It goes back to what we were saying last week. Games need to be able to end. Because if they just keep going and going and going, well, that's a boulder that's not being laid out. You know, a line that just keeps going and going and going. Yeah, if we go back to... Is it still up? No, it's not. 1 second. Go back here. Pulling back up the drawing thingy I was using before. YouTube, UI draw. Share this tab instead. Alright, can you guys see it? No, because I am on screen. That's not the one I'm looking at. Why is it not up? Oh, there's always some new problem with this. Hold on a second. Alright, you guys are looking at this one. We don't need to look at it anymore. So, UI draw. There we go. If things never end, if I keep doing this, you know, we have a line, sure, but I keep going and going and going and going and going, eventually it'll end up looking like... Can I get this back? this. And we're back to the same problem as before. If things don't end, then you don't really have boundaries of where things happen. Watching... Oh, I can't remember. Come on, the box... Hajime no Ippo. Seeing those boxers of their relative strengths fight is exciting. Specifically because they are so close to what they can do. We know the rules. We know what they can and cannot do. They cannot fly. They cannot punch holes through walls. They can't do any of that. But if you keep them growing and growing and growing, Dragon Ball is unique in that it is actually able to do what it does. And it fits with everything. At some point, I gotta do some more on Dragon Ball stuff to showcase how they do the whole ending of a saga, beginning of a new one, where they draw that line and then continue on with the next one. Like, all the stuff in the past obviously happened and matters, but continue. Yeah, Ippo is at 300 volumes and still going. But they're still within boxing strength range. You know, they're not shooting beams at each other. And if they did, it would no longer be Hajime no Ippo. It's been defined by what they can and cannot do. They cannot shoot beams at each other. They cannot fly. They cannot do any of this. They cannot kick. They cannot kick in the boxing manga. If they begin to throw in kicks, it's no longer Hajime no Ippo. And they've changed the plot. So you have to set these boundaries. And when you do multiverses, you erase all the boundaries. What is this? Between Deception and Deadly Alliance, they tried to move on by killing off Liu Kang, and they made the story of Shinjuku. And the era of Onaga the Demon King, or Dragon King. Fucking isekai. Between Mortal Kombat, I did not play 5, 6, and 7. I played 8, which was Armageddon. And then I played 9, a small amount of 10. Skipped 11. Good thing I did. It sucked. But I'm excited for Mortal Kombat 1. I still don't know if I'm going to play it because it's a fighting game and I don't really do those, but... I would say this is wrong because they could have found a new way to bring them back. It's just Armageddon was the end of everything. I mean, it was Armageddon. But wouldn't it be fun to have an arc where MC fights a kickboxer and has to overcome them? Yes. But that still stays within its own rules. They just found a way to change the rules. But what was the name of the main character? It wasn't Hajime. It wasn't Ippo. I'm gonna call him Dave until I remember what his name was. Dave is still Dave. He's still a boxer, but now he has to use his boxing skills in a new way with a new problem. He's not going to evolve kicking legs. What's his name, Ippo? Okay, well then Ippo. Ippo/Dave. So yeah, this would be fun, but it's not actually changing. If they make it so only he fights kickboxers, then they will be changing the overall feel of the show. It will be a different show. It'd be a boxer versus kickboxer style manga. It would not be the same. Alright, I'll cut up a chat. So, there's another issue I've been having with people with these multiverse shows, and that's that a lot of these shows, like Rick and Morty, okay, we'll talk about Rick and Morty, they bring in this really obnoxious, and I really mean obnoxious, type of black pill cynicism that seems to be plaguing a lot of people who watch these shows, especially Rick and Morty. They keep this idea of, oh, there's all these other multiverses, all these different paths, all of these different ways that things could be. And so since there's so many of them, nothing matters. None of it matters. Let's go sit on the couch and watch TV. And I hate it. I keep saying I take all my Chinese cartoons too seriously, and this is one of the ways I do, and I wish you people would take them too seriously as well. People watch these shows, and they live these things out. Sure, they will claim, oh yeah, it's just fiction, it's just TV, it's just a cartoon. But I've seen way too often the people take up the mannerisms of the shows they love so much. And back when I used to work at Whole Foods, there was two people especially who would always talk about Rick and Morty, and it just pissed me the fuck off. It was a 2015 era. 2015 to 2018 is when I left. Matt's only a little bit late. I punish you by making you give me a super chat. And make it an expensive one. Or buy some tea. That'd actually be better. Speaking of which, 1 second. Now, we have had a sale, but... Right, look at that later. Anyway, back to the plot. I find Rick and Morty God Complex a bane to watch through. I have watched... I don't think I've seen the latest season, but... I watched the first few seasons, because it was one of those things that people kept telling me, like, I'm telling you, man, it'll get good. After season X, it'll get good. It never did. At best, I was neutral at it. It was just something to just make my mind turn off. I'm not a fan of those shows anymore, honestly. The make my mind turn off type of shows. Stupid people exist. If they know the talks under pressure and overcoming it throughout Rick and Morty, and just analyze what they think Rick is, you can't save them. That number, I'm gonna keep it on screen. That number of the people who idolize Rick, it seems to be constantly bigger than what I initially expected. It's not like Rick started this whole thing. Think of all the people who idolize the Joker and Harley Quinn. Back during the Facebook days, it was actually a funny thing. I posted... I can't remember what year it was. But I posted something on Harley Quinn. Because somebody shared a thing about how they idolize Harley Quinn, and how they wish they had a relationship like Harley Quinn and Joker. And my comment was something to the effect of, how do these people now realize that she is a toxic character, and why do you want to be a bad person? And I really pissed somebody off. I pissed somebody off who's like, oh man, I used to be such a big fan of yours. On Facebook, you can see every time they post something on your page. And I can search her name. She never bought anything. But I'm getting off topic. Somebody was deeply offended that I asked, why do you idolize a genuinely bad character? They were not made to be complex. They're bad. They do horrible things. She kills people on a whim. Harley Quinn wannabes are way worse. Imagine somebody who idolizes Rick hooking up with somebody who idolizes Harley Quinn. Oh, that'd be awful. There are things to learn and idolize. Handling depression is one of them. Understanding yourself is another. Just surrounded in silly cartoons. Yes. The reason why we read the fables to the kids is because there's important lessons hidden within those fables. Some easy to see when you're an adult, others not so much. Like there was this thing I was listening to this week or last week about Snow White and Sleeping Beauty and all the metaphors behind that. Nobody else on Rumble? My Rumble chat doesn't want to stay up. Thank you for the $10 on Rumble. Rick and Morty got mildly watchable season 2, then ran out of ideas and got too full of themselves. That happens a lot with these shows. Thank you for letting me know. Is there a way I can just pin this so it just stays on top? Right click. Move, size, minimize, maximize, reload. Show as tab, cut, copy, find it. No, there's not. I would love to be able to do that. I wonder how I can... I don't know how you cast Shadow Rumble, but I'm sure I'll figure it out later. And there's no way for me to showcase this on... Actually, wait, yes there is. 1 second. Share. Come on now. Share. Screen. Chat. Share. There we go. Now we can see it all. There's a nice little chat. So you guys can see it as well. Some good tea. I wonder if I... No, I shouldn't. Thinking about ways I can change uwu. Alright, what else is going on in chat? Alright, but you guys get the overall gist of it. There was a movie I watched Sunday, 2 days ago, called Everything Everywhere All at Once. And I thought it was absolutely fantastic. It was a phenomenal movie. Not just in overall quality in terms of what they did with the shots on screen, with the comedy, with the emotional punches to the guts that happen every now and then. And also, now I can talk about this because Xeno guy is out of chat. It also did a fantastic job of answering some of these problems with the multiverse questions. Think of it... I'm trying to think of how to best explain it without getting too rambly and ranty. Because unfortunately, because of a Juneteenth being a holiday, it messed up my entire work schedule of how I do things. So I couldn't do a dry run on Monday like how I hoped. The Redneck Ram. Rumble is getting better, but still tends to not have low quality options for live streams. Since I'm out in such poor signal area, I stick with YouTube because I can still drop it to 144p. You can do it with Rumble now as well, actually. You can drop it to very low quality. When I was saying, oh yeah, everything everywhere all at once. So you, as a person, is given many more opportunities in life than many other people in the past. And you constantly fed that as well. You know, you could be this, you could be that, be a fireman, an astronaut, a YouTuber, and all of these different options. And people are given this kind of almost a sense of cynicism. Because when you can do everything, you can do nothing. Because it doesn't matter. These limitations are what makes things matter. Back in the day, when things like salt and pepper were so rare that people would go to war to fight over them, and only the highest of high elites can have such refined food. Pepper was viewed as this amazing thing that people would kill and die over. Now, since it's so plentiful, I mean, who cares? It's on every restaurant table. Salt and pepper. It's because it was so limited that it had its value. That's one of the reasons why, if a show is really good, you shouldn't ask for more of it. Just leave it as it is. Look at Psycho-Pass. Psycho-Pass is an excellent example. Season 1 was a masterpiece. It was fine as it was. Then they added seasons 2, 3 in the movies, which by themselves were not bad, but when compared to season 1, lacked its spark. Supernatural season 5, yeah. Supernatural season 5 is where the show ends. There is no Supernatural 6 through, what the hell was it, 16, 15? I watched all of it, by the way. Supernatural should have ended at season 5, but they kept going, and it watered everything down. It made all the sacrifices so much less meaningful. Yu Yu Hakusho did this a lot. I love Yu Yu Hakusho, but one of my critiques of it is that every single fight, there was somebody going, even if I have to give up my life! And it became so meaningless that, I don't know, okay, everybody wants to kill themselves. Hooray! If you want self-sacrifice to matter, you can't self-sacrifice every single time. Imagine if Vegeta did his atomic blast when he kills himself at every fight. It wouldn't be as fun, wouldn't be as meaningful. So you need to add those limitations. And sometimes people need to just limit themselves. Why, yes, you can do a thing. Doesn't mean you should. Even though you have all of these options available to you, you should be able to just choose one path and just stick to that path. Maybe it's not the right path. I don't know. I don't know what path you're walking. You can at least find out if it's the right or wrong path. Think of it like a show who's having some sort of a schism, trying to decide which way it wants the show to go. What's a good example? Someone help me with this. Give me an example of a show that had a choice in direction of where it could go, and it ended up choosing a path, and it felt like it jumped the shark. Or it tried to do two things at once, and it just didn't work. Can anyone think of a show like that? I'm gonna think myself. It's one of those things, I know shows like that exist, I just can't think of them off the top of my head. That's Lost in Space, good story. I'm joined by a cat again. What do you want, buddy? You want to be on screen? Let's put you on screen, 1 second. Yeah, there you go, guys. Now you can enjoy a cat. Let's put you... You are, buddy. There you are, buddy. How you doing? Want to be all nice and cuddly? Dexter? Dexter did end up being really bad at the end. Was it trying to do two things at once? Kind of, I think. It stopped being as much about serial killers, which was a problem. Younger Toguro was one of my favorite villains of all time. His backstory was just beautiful. But yeah, shows that change what they're trying to be, if they change their overall structure, it's not, usually doesn't work. Sometimes it does. People have different opinions on this, but Dragon Ball changes overall feel from adventure to martial arts. And a lot of people liked the more adventure-y side to it. Personally, I didn't. I actually liked the more action-y, the plot is to fight type of thing. Dexter didn't know where to go and ended up going nowhere. Did anybody watch that new season that came out a couple of years ago? Season 9 or whatever? I heard nobody talk about it, so I'm assuming it sucked. What is it, buddy? Have you been lonely because I've been busy this past weekend? Probably. Yeah, nobody watched that new season of Dexter. So yeah, I think I don't want to be rambling too much about this. So overall, just a little bit over an hour. Much better than episode 2, I think. And with this, I'm going to build upon this, make myself a bit of a better show for season 3. For episode 3, I'm not entirely sure on the topic just yet. There's a few ways it can go. Or I have a few directions I want to go. Depends on which one I'm in the mood for. kind of broke everything for no good reason. Do you mean season 8 of Dexter or season 9 of Dexter? Either way, we can all agree that Dexter was like Game of Thrones. Season 8 just ruined everything. Alright, let me double check a couple of things. Alright, looks good. Alright. So I think that pretty much wraps up everything that's going on. So, Crazy Cabin in the Woods reboots. Didn't even know there was a reboot. So yes, thank you all who have joined us for this. Tune in next week, subject to be determined. Let me know how this was compared to episode 1. Episode 1 I gave a C-2. A little bit too rambly, a little bit too all over the place. My bullet points that work to give me enough focus. Writing a script seemed to do a lot better job. I'll probably continue that direction. Gotta make some minor tweaks. But with that, I don't wish to belabor this. So I will see you guys next time. And thank you for joining us. Farewell.